On today's Domain Sherpa review, we look at a Sherpa's portfolio, including the good, the bad, and the recent purchases they've made. We also use a new industry tool to dig a little deeper and find some surprising results in the Sherpa's portfolio. Then we discuss names going to auction soon on NameJet, including buying.com, hydrospa.com, and stereotype.com, and much more. Stay tuned. I have 3 sponsor messages before we get into today's show. First, if you have a great domain name and nothing to show when people visit, you're missing out on potential advertising revenue, leads, and partnership opportunities. NicheWebsites.com can build you a site quickly with a price option to suit any need. But as their tagline says, they don't just build websites, they build businesses. NicheWebsites.com. Second, if you're buying or selling a domain name or portfolio and you want an estimate of its value, Estabot.com is the place to go. Just like you'd visit Zillow.com to get an estimate of a house value, Estabot.com provides key information about the most important statistics so you can make an informed decision based on data. Finally, whether you're buying, selling, brokering, or financing a domain name, you need an escrow company that's properly licensed, bonded, insured, and audited. That company is escrow.com, and they've been doing it since 1999. Escrow.com. It's about trust. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Cyger, publisher of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is the show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics. We have 3 sections to the review: an investor-submitted domain name portfolio to discuss and value, a marketplace list of domains going to auction soon at namejet.com, and we're going to wrap it up with 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 3 past Sherpas and thought leaders. In order from left to right, we have Adam Dicker, CEO of dnforum.com and nichewebsites.com, the company that help you build, rank, and update your business website. Andrew Rosener, CEO of the domain name brokerage firm MediaOptions.com. And Shane Cultra, publisher of the blog DomainShane.com and owner of the Country Arbors Nursery in Illinois. If you're ever in the neighborhood, stop by. He's there. Sherpas, welcome to today's show.
Thanks, Michael.
This is the first of 3 Domain Sherpa review shows where we're going to eat our own dog food. You're going to get to see the best domain names each of these 3 Sherpas owns, as well as the worst and the most recently purchased. We'll all see what we should be aiming for as investors and what we can learn from the Sherpas' mistakes, if there are any. And it's an opportunity for the Sherpas to learn from each other as well, because we can all improve. Right, Sherpas?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank Eric Jenkins for his suggestions months ago that when he said you and the other Sherpas should choose some of your best domain names and put them in a portfolio so we can see what we should be aiming for. I love feedback. If you have more feedback about any of the Domain Sherpa shows, click the Contact Us in the upper left-hand corner of DomainSherpa.com. Let me know what you think. Eric, thanks for your suggestion. We're going to roll with it today. And we're going to jump right into the first section of the show. In the domain portfolio review, we take user-submitted domain name portfolios and provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners, in this case, to one of our own Sherpas. If you're watching the show on YouTube, click on the link in the description below to see the list of domain names discussed on today's show. You may want to pause the show, take a look, make your own assessment, and then listen. Today, we're going to be reviewing the domain portfolio of Andrew Rosener, a regular Sherpa on the Domain Sherpa review, of course. Drew.
MediaOptions.
At the portfolio of MediaOptions.com. Right. Thanks for clarifying that. As part of the review, Drew, Domain Sherpa has made a donation on your behalf to the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center to help us all find a cure for cancer. Thanks for being a part of the program. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to open up the first section of domain names, which are Drew's most valuable portfolio, and Adam and Shane will review Drew's portfolio without any input from Drew. He is zipped up. He cannot share any input. After Adam and Shane are done with each section, the best, the worst, the most recent, then we're going to give Drew what we call a rebuttal opportunity. And then after Drew's rebuttal, I'm going to ask the entire Sherpa panel for general consensus on the list. You know, strategies, values, offers, things like that. And what we can take away. So, Adam, let's start with you. Let's review Drew's most valuable portfolio. I asked him to pick 10 names. It starts with AIB.com and it ends with WI.com.
All right, so Drew clearly believes when he was analyzing his portfolio that the acronyms are his most valuable assets. And they could well be. I mean, I've got a bunch of them as well, but I mean, they could be. I mean, with acronyms, you need to obviously find the right buyer. And if we're just talking about sales price, yes, they probably are his most accurate, because I don't believe, Drew, that you build out a lot of businesses on your site. Is that true or not true?
No talking.
All right, no talking. All right. So let's look at it. AIB, all the acronyms are pretty good. This is a real good case, though, of Estabot not being a reliable sales tool for appraised values.
Why do you say that?
Clearly, EG.com is worth more than $181,000, and so are some of the other ones. I've bought and sold lots of the two-letter ones, so I think they obviously have value. Even with the X in it, I've sold ZP and PZ, so they're good ones. The Triple V is a good one. Mm-hmm. They're all valuable domain names. WI is a good one. I'm not very keen on Blood.com, though, as a top 10. Yes, we all have Blood. What? No, I got to run with this. What? Oh, I'm just getting a message from Pete Carroll saying I should pass on some of these names. But
that's
anyway,
not cool, buddy. That's not cool.
We'll continue. Sorry, Pete, I'm going to have to run. So let's see. So Blood.com I'm not really crazy about. I just don't know what I could do with it. I mean, it's not like Blood Donor.
So as a domain, as somebody that builds domains and businesses for other people, you're not sure what you would do on Blood.com. Hold your lips, Drew. I know you're like ready to burst at the seam.
Yeah, and I don't really think it's 1.1 million. I think the evaluation's off. Okay. The other one that I'm not crazy about, I'm not crazy about Kettle. Yes, we all need them, but they're about $10. I just don't. It's a product, and I like them, and I like products, but kettles generally are for old people because now we all have Keurigs and stuff like that. Although people do keep kettles, so I don't want to insult anybody. I have one in the kitchen. Santa. It would be a lot better, Drew, if you developed it out into a name instead of parking it on domain name sales, where kids are going to go and you're going to disappoint millions of children looking for the place they can drop off letters to Santa. So as far as Christmas goes, take it from a Jewish guy. You really need to do better about showing your things about Santa, because that could be a good site, a huge traffic site where kids go and have some affiliate stuff where they can buy things. I mean, or the parents can go and buy things and post something up that says, "Great, kids, you submitted your letter. Now, if mommy and daddy don't buy something on this site, it'll never come true." No, I mean, but you can have fun with it and get lots of traffic.
All right, let me ask you on that, Adam. Santa.com is valued by Estabot.com at $650,000. Is that a fair valuation?
I'd have to say it's probably a little high, but based on the potential of the site, and unfortunately, obviously, it is a seasonal name, so you're only going to get real high traffic for 2 to 3 months. Actually, after Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving in the States. Yeah, I think it's a really good name. I just think you got to do something with it. You could make, obviously, you're going to make 95% of your revenue in the last 2 months of the year, but I have names like that, like Christmas songs, that do really well as well, so I don't drop them. But I think it's a great name with good potential.
Yeah.
So I do like it. I just think you got to do something more with it to at least help the kids out and give them something fun. Put some Santa games or something, elf bowling or whatever you want. Love your WI.com. I think it's great. Love your EG. Love even your 3 letters AIB. I think that could be even undervalued at $97,000 because it's good letters. MTR. I mean, MTR is something big, so I mean that's good. Undervalued at $82,000. I think all of your 3 letters are really good letters, and I think you're going to do. They'll probably do with the right buyers, definitely over $400,000 to $500,000, way above what Estabot puts.
So, Adam, when you looked at this list of 10 domain names, what was your first thought?
That Drew's clearly putting his names into names that he feels he could buy and resell because they're all acronyms. So to me, that he's not. That's my exact thought. Is that he's buying them and he said some great. Listen, the guy's an incredible broker. I mean, I send him my names to sell, but I mean, he's obviously looking at names that he can sell easily that don't need a whole lot of marketing once you find the right company.
Right.
You don't have to explain any of these. So I mean, they're great names. There's no question about it.
All right, Shane, let's go over to you. What was your first thought when you looked at these 10 domain names of Drew's?
This parent should be proud of them. I mean, those are true assets. I'm probably the representative of the newer domainer, and the first thing you see when you see this portfolio is that's where everybody's trying to be. 99% of the people in this industry are trying to get a portfolio that looks like that. And when we look over this portfolio, it's like looking over a brand new Ferrari and trying to pick out the little dents. It's
right. And so you say that because he's got 2-letter, 3-letter acronyms, and he's got single word generic domains. Is that why you think it's like a Ferrari?
Absolutely. He's got everything there is liquid. He could put everything out there tomorrow and get 3/4 of its value right tomorrow. And that's his job. So that's what he does for a living, and he knows it. He knows the industry as well as anybody, is what he can sell. And those are $1 million names. The 2-letter.coms are going nowhere but up. They're the rarest. They're the most sought after. It's the gold standard of what we're looking at. So honestly, the first thing I saw when I saw the portfolios, that's where I'm trying to get. That's where most of us are trying to get. Most of it, main investors talk about building out, but we never do. We're right. Everything we buy, we say this will make a great site, that'll make a great site, but we don't. So really, where you should be is names that'll flip like this. So that's the first thing I thought, and the second thing I thought is, oh Lord, when they see my portfolio, it's going to be fodder. They're going to have a good time knocking that thing around. But I'm just a different level. I mean, honestly, when you see mine, Drew and Adam will all remember that day when you did turn the corner and you got that good domain. You made that first step and bought that big one. You're just seeing the end result with Drew's portfolio of where, once you get there, what level do you get? I mean, once you get there, where do you go from there? And obviously, as you go to the very best, other than a couple 2-number.coms, there's not much more, higher value than you get, other than some credit names. And we all, porno.com selling recently. That's maybe another level. But hey, I mean, there's nothing bad. I disagree with blood. Blood is going to be a rarer and rarer resource. We're going to be banking cord blood. We're going to be banking all that kind of stuff. I think that's a super, super valuable name. And Santa. I mean, it's Santa. How can that not? That's $1 million name.
And I will say, to Drew's defense, I forced you guys to pick domain names that were not developed. So, maybe Drew has better ones or we all have better ones that are developed. Hey, Shane, do you know what the liquid value right now on NameJet for a 2-letter or 3-letter domain name are, regardless of the letters?
Well, I think Drew would agree that nothing less than $250,000 would he even talk about with anybody right now, unless you're in desperate need of cash to build something else or buy something out.
On which? On 2 letters or 3 letters?
On 2 letters. 2 letters. Yeah, even the worst letter.
On NameJet. On NameJet.
On NameJet? Well, first of all, if you put it on NameJet, you've got a bigger problem. NameJet. I don't know if I've seen one come across in the last 7 years.
NameJet's not getting any 2 letters. So you think that in the market, based on connections, you could probably get $250 today for any 2-letter.
I'd say you get $300,000 within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
On any of those names.
All right, and then what about 3 letters? Those do come up on NameJet, right?
Oh yeah, and those are all over the board. But Aaron and I discussed this quite a bit. I think the bottom price right now is about $10,000, about 5 figures, $10,000. You might be able to sneak one under 10 right now, but if it comes up in an auction that anybody pays attention to, it's $10,000, regardless of letters.
Yeah.
Regardless of letters.
Yep.
And these are much better letters, than QXZ or something. These are really good letters, and I don't think Andrew's selling anything under $15,000. So 3 letters are, again, is liquid and is a great asset. And if you move names for a living, these are the kind of names you want. And even if you don't move names every day for a living, these are the ones you want in your portfolio.
Yep.
Adam's obviously got a great portfolio as well, but somebody that turns, these are fantastic.
All right. Drew, your say on these. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with?
So, all right, where to start? So,
do you want me to start you off? Blood.com. Why does that domain suck so much, and how much would you take from me right now?
Here's Blood.com's got a funny story. So I bought Blood.com, paid $90,000 for Blood.com about, to be honest, I don't remember exactly, two or 3 years ago. And I kind of had regrets afterwards, thinking, I overpaid. And then I sold it for, I think, 150 or something like that, 6 to 12 months later. And then I was kicking myself, thinking, well, so basically okay. So then my daughter was born, and we went and did the cord blood banking. I started realizing, holy crap, this is a big market. And yes, blood is not cord blood, but it's. I think the technology going forward, and Adam knows. I mean, he's in that business. But even beyond cord blood, blood in general is it's a big business. And now you've got a company out there called Theranos, which has just achieved like a $10 billion valuation. It's a young girl. I think she's like 32. She's an all-star. And they're saying that her company is the future of medicine. That basically these almost instantaneous, finger prick testing, blood testing, is how we're going to be managing our health overall for everything in the future. So, so that was my thought process there. And frankly, I wouldn't let, and this might be naive or foolish, but I wouldn't let blood.com go for under $500,000. And even at $500,000, I'd be suspect.
And Drew, to finish that story, you said you banked your daughter's cord blood, and then how did you get the blood.com domain back?
I went back and I bought it back. I went back and I bought blood.com back. It was a trade. It was a cash and trade deal.
Yeah.
Quick question, Drew. How much did you pay to store her cord blood? $2,000?
I think it was the upfront fee was like $3,000. I think we paid, and then we're paying whatever it is ongoing.
And that's why I love this business. I could have done it for you for like 40 years for like $250.
He could have set you up.
But it'd be in his own refrigerator.
No,
it's down in my garage in the freezer.
One of only 4 authorized cord banks.
Here's the deal. The reason was expensive is because
this isn't Kramer on Seinfeld storing the blood in the fridge.
No, the reason it was more expensive than most was because she was born in Panama, and we had 2 options. We could store it in Panama, which actually isn't a bad option because it's one of the least seismic places on the planet. But we wanted to have ready access from anywhere in the world because who knows where we're going to be living in the future or where she'll be living. And so we decided to store it in the U.S., and so it had to be transported, and it was a more complicated.
There's special medical bags that you have to send it in, and there's special customs things you have to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew, let me ask you a couple questions because we're going to run out of time. .com is in auction at NameJet. I see the Estabot value is $57,000. It's unique. Well, let me finish. VVV is at auction at NameJet. The auction starts on March 8th at 8 p.m. The current bid is $15,000. I believe the reserve has not been met yet. What's interesting is that VVVV, 4 Vs, just sold at NameJet for $22,100 in December. What do you think is going to happen to your VVV?
So we bought VVV.com recently, and we paid more than what Estabot is saying. But, there's only 26 of these, and there's only 4 left in investor hands, or maybe 5. I believe the cheapest one that you could get your hands on is $250,000. And I think the next cheapest one is $400,000 or $500,000. VVV, it's Vinny Vidi Vici. I don't know what it is, but it's an extremely unique and identifiable brand that if you tell somebody VVV.com, they know where to go. They're going to remember it. It's indistinguishable. Look, I have no idea. The only reason, it's one of my favorite names that we own. But when I saw VVV, the 4 Vs sell for 22, it gave me pause. It made me think, okay, I'm gonna test the market on this. So we threw it up there, and it's on NameJet, and we're gonna see what happens. I mean, I hope I hope it goes big. It's one of those names. I think we've turned down offers of 70 and 80,000 outside of NameJet, so I think it's pretty safe to say that it'll hit 70 or 80 grand. But you never know. Things change quickly, and I think it's one of those names that might pop. It could, it could go for a lot of money. Yeah. I don't know. It's such a rare asset that it's there's no comparables. You can't compare it to another sale. So,
yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Hey, Drew, let me ask you. I've got Esterbot retail valuations down. I want to ask you if it's right or wrong or order of magnitude correct. Blood.com was valued by Esterbot at $1.1 million. You said you wouldn't let it go for under $500,000.
I think that Esterbot value is probably
a little high.
Yeah, I think it's ambitious.
Yeah.
Let's say that, but it's not impossible.
So Santa.com is valued by Esterbot at $650K. What do you think? What would you sell it for today?
Well, we turned down $500,000 about a month after we bought it. So I think that's probably accurate. I mean, but to be honest, I think it's a seven-figure name. I think it's very hard to say that Santa.com is not a seven-figure name. You're talking about 27,000 type-ins on Christmas Eve.
It's massive.
Kettle.com. Adam, we invested a ton of money. We built a big site, but we never got it finished. And then our developer went dark. Oh. We lost a ton of money on that deal. And unfortunately, we ended up parking it.
That's why investors don't develop.
I would say, obviously, you didn't have enough elves.
Kettle.com, valued by Esterbot at $208K. Why the heck do you own Kettle.com? Adam didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Kettle.com is an interesting one. It was hard for me to put it on that list at first, but I got to be honest with you. Just for some reason, it strikes a bell with me. I love that name. I think of Kettle.com. I think of a teapot boiling over. There's two reasons why I put that name on the list. Number one, I had a client about a year and a half ago that wanted a name for a tea company. It's impossible. There's none. I dare somebody to go out and find a super premium name in the tea business.
Right.
I got one.
You can't find it.
What do you got, Adam?
Herbalteas.com.
Yeah, but too specific.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's just premium. That's not super premium.
No. If you want to sell herbal tea, it doesn't get better. But what about a tea company that sells all types of teas?
Right.
Right. I'm telling you, I spent months doing it. You can't find one unless you're going to spend over $1 million. So that was my first reason. Was scarcity, scarcity is one of the biggest motivations for buying any of the names, which you can probably guess from the list. Second reason was I think it's a great name for like an incubator. You put water in a kettle, you turn up the heat, and it boils, right? So I thought I thought it was a great name for an incubator or a fund. Both of which are great places to have names that qualify. So I don't know. It's just a really nice brand.
Hey, Drew, what do you think? Adam, go ahead, and then I'll ask you.
Drew, you're going to have to plug the kettle in because it doesn't even resolve to a landing page.
That's because when we bought the name, we agreed to maintain his name servers for his email for a certain period of time, which is that'll expire soon.
Don't you know how to change DNS records and just point to A records for the website?
Hey, if people can't figure out how to get in contact with Drew, then
it was part of the deal.
Bigger issues. All right, Drew, last question on this first portfolio of yours. The two-letter .coms, they are valued by Esterbot $1.1 million, $181,000, $169,000. What do you think is the liquid value of those domains, and what do you think the retail value is?
So we receive 5, 10, 20 offers every single day for these. Each one is different.
5 offers per day plus for these two letters.
That's on a slow day. PX.com is by far the most popular for whatever reason. Wow. Particularly among the Chinese market. Huh. As of right now, I think it was like 3 days ago, we turned down $650 for PX.com. So that's PX is liquid, and that's an investor. That's a Chinese investor. We've got multiple offers between $550 and $600, and then one guy at $650. So that's liquid at $650. EG.com, we've got lots of offers at $450, and we've got 2 or 3 offers at the 5, and then the highest offer being $550. And then WI.com is liquid at $450. Which is funny because WI is the highest appraised on Estabot.
Yeah.
And generally it's the favorite. If you show people 3 of these, the favorite is usually WI. But in terms of actual cash offers we've gotten, WI has been the lowest offers we've gotten.
Well, it's also a state abbreviation.
Yeah, it's the abbreviation for Wisconsin. What's interesting is EG is the country code for Egypt, and that name has huge traffic, but it's like 90% Egyptian traffic.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the table on Drew real fast. I'm going to do a share screen. Quick break from 3 sponsors of today's show. First, are you tired of being upsold and cross-sold when you buy or renew a domain? Then try the newest registrar being built from the ground up with a beautiful interface, competitive pricing, and 24/7 support. Uniregistry.com will surprise and delight you. The right domain can change your life. Uniregistry.com. Second, investing in Chinese domains is crazy hard without expert native language advice. Now, as a service to the Western domainer community, TLD Registry offers ChineseLandRush.com. Using ChineseLandRush.com will help you invest in Chinese domains with confidence and without knowing a word of Chinese. Finally, if you're buying a domain name from a private party and want to know what else they own, DomainIQ.com is the tool you should be using. View their entire portfolio, filter by Estabot value, and be a better investor. $49.95 for 250 queries per month. Visit DomainIQ.com/portfolio to learn more. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the table on Drew real fast. I'm going to do a share screen. I'm going to share my entire screen right now. Present to everyone. Now, I'm going to go to DomainIQ. This is an Intellium product. It's a new sponsor of DomainSherpa, and I love this tool because I can come in here and I can type in a domain name.
Screen, Michael.
Oh, you don't see my screen?
I see it. I see it.
Drew sees it. I mean,
no, I don't.
I just see a picture of you with a circle. No, just a circle.
I don't see the screen.
Maybe share with everyone. I can see it. Oh, now I just see me.
Hi, Adam. All right, let me present to everyone.
Oh, there you go. I can see it now.
All right, so I can type in a domain name like AIB, one of the great domains that Drew has, and click research, and it comes back, and you come up here to the tabs, and you can do the who is history, but what's really cool about this tool is the related domains. So it shows me Andrew Rosener, that this domain is registered to info@MediaOptions.com. He's got a bunch of other names that he uses to register domain names. I'm not going to get into that right now. But what's cool is that, hold on a sec, you come here to filter domain names, and now I can see how many domains Drew has that are 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters. I don't know what domain you have that's 1 character, but I'm going to click on that and take a look. Oh, g.holdings. I thought it was a .com. But if I click 2, I can come down here and see all the 2 letters like we.com and vr.net, which we've talked about on the show. What's really cool, what I like to do, is come over here to appraised value and look at the ones that are over $100,000. And if I come down here, I can see blood.com. And then I can see Drew's other really cool domain names that he decided not to put on his top 10 list, like oregano.com, or seraphim.com, or shore.com. So some awesome domain names that you left off the list, Drew.
We sold Shore. We don't even own Shore anymore.
Oh.
We sold that.
Well, I think
we sold that to a German technology company a few months ago.
Yeah.
Can we look at his trademarks and cause him some legal issues?
I don't think we have any. I don't think we have any trademark domains.
No, I'm just kidding. We wouldn't want to do that anyway.
At least nothing blatantly obvious.
Webproxy.com. I like that one.
Which one?
Webproxy.com. You got some interesting ones. And the cool thing is that it brings in the appraised value over here in the right-hand column, so I can see what the Estabot retail value is right off the bat. Well, I'm,
Going by the numbers, I think Web Proxy probably is one of our most valuable names. It's got like over 1 million searches, I think.
Does it tell you the value of his whole portfolio?
I think it does actually.
Obviously, that's garbage. I mean, it's just interesting.
Yeah, you've got a $5 million portfolio here, Drew.
Congratulations, Drew.
But I think it's only the ones that are under media options. He's got some personal and some other stuff. Anyways, you can go buy an account. This is not an organized promotion for Domain IQ. I just love the tool so much. Okay, so now we're going to move to the second set of domain names that Drew has. Drew selected his least valuable portfolio. It starts with demonstrate.info and it ends with xships.com. Adam, let's go over to you. Were you surprised to see these 10 domain names coupled with his top 10 domain names?
All right, so what do you want to see? The worst ones?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So you want to know if we agree they're bad, or what do you want to know?
What was your... First of all, I'm appalled that Drew owns these domain names when he, we just talked about these multi-million-dollar domain names that he has. Are you surprised that Drew has these domain names in his portfolio?
Not at all. And we all have garbage in our portfolio. But I do want to make one last point about his good stuff.
Yeah.
And that it does show you that the search advertisement, as well as the cost per click and the competitors, sometimes it doesn't have any bearing on names. So you can't take it so serious.
Right.
It's just good information, but in Drew's case, it doesn't matter. So let's look at the worst ones. Demonstrate.info, freshfish.us, anything with a .us pretty much can go. Music sites, very misleading. With a dash, it looks like it's got a decent appraised value, got decent search results, and it's showing 11 advertisers. So if you're just looking to park this one, you can make some decent money on it. If you're looking to sell it, it's going to be a little bit tougher, but it's still not a horrible domain name. Scallop cakes, you make money of those, Drew?
Nope. No talking.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Web crawler with a typo. I mean, Virtue Girl instead of virtual. Sustainable seafood.info. Yeah. These may have been just tests that he did to see if his registrar was working. All
right, we'll find out. So you agree with Drew.
Fucktheworld.org. I think it's kind of funny. I have Fuck Mondays. So.
But is it .org or .com?
Mine's .com.
Yeah. So you agree with Drew that these are 10 domain names that are not worthy of renewal?
I would probably still renew. Well, even demonstrate.info. I mean, it could be anything about a demonstration. It's not that horrible. I've seen much worse. I mean...
Well, let me ask you this. If these 10 domain names were submitted by some random domain investor and I'm like, hey guys, check out this portfolio we're going to review, you guys would give me an earful. Would you not?
Yeah, we would. I mean, maybe Drew would never find value. Shane would probably find something because he's good at that. And I would probably find something too, but Drew would kill us.
All right, so what's the name one that you find value in, Adam? Which one would you keep?
I'm going to have to go with, if I'm going to keep one.
Yeah. MexicanShrimp.net?
No, see, Scallop Cakes is funny, but I wouldn't keep it. I'll go with demonstrate.info, and I hate infos. But no, let's go with xships.com.
Xships, all right.
Xships is the best of the worst, in my opinion.
All right, Shane, let's go over to you.
All right. Well, I think the point
you
of this...
would be the nicest if this list showed up. You would be the nicest.
Well, you know, here's my positive thing out of this, is this proves that even the best have some bad names in there. And I've had conversations with a lot of people, more this year than ever. In the past, you know, there's a lot of trades, and you bought big portfolios, and you use 99-cent coupons, and, you know, we just added all this junk to our portfolios, and there's so much sitting on there on auto renew that we just keep going over and over and over, and that's why we end up with all this stuff. And yeah, these suck. There's no doubt about it. But my question is, do you have them on auto renew, or do you actually go there and renew them?
All right. Before we go over to Drew, name one domain name that you would keep, Shane.
Yeah, I like fucktheworld.org. I think it's a fun name. I mean, you could put a landing site with a big finger or something. I would keep it. It's worth $10 a year to play with it. But I know the rest are seafood. I know he's a seafood guy, and I can see why they just came through. But he's got better things to do. I would just drop him and let somebody else have fun with the $8 or whatever he'd make out of them every 2 years. So I'd drop them all, and I'd keep fucktheworld.org and keep a smile on my face. And that's it.
All right, Drew, it's rebuttal time. What do you say?
There's not much for me to say. I mean, these are awful names. There's not much to say.
Well, you know what? I got to commend you, Drew.
Scallopcakes.com is if there was one name I have to renew here, it's scallopcakes.com. That was a drunken registration while at my friend's farm, and we were both in the seafood business. We invented scallop cakes. At the time, there is actually scallop cakes out there now, but at the time, they didn't exist. And we had some really bad quality scallops. We put them in a blender with a bunch of different ingredients, which I could never, recreate. And we put them in an oven, and, because we were blind drunk, they tasted great. And we decided we were going to invent scallop cakes. And so I registered scallopcakes.com.
And it could be one of those things that takes off, right? Maybe someday it's going to be as big as crab cakes.
You never know. You never know.
Well, people are going to be watching for it in Drew's drops now, so there you go.
Yeah.
I'd put it on NameJet after all this discussion.
Drew, Shane's question, are any of these on auto-renew?
Most likely they're all on auto-renew, and then when I see them coming up, we just, unset them.
Yeah. Now, do you unset them and let them drop, or do you actually just delete them and be done with it?
It depends on the registrar.
Yeah. All right. All right. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to flip back over to Domain IQ. We're going to take a look at what I see. All right, here we go. Present to everyone. So what you do over here, now that we've gone to related domains, is and then filter. Now I'm going to look at the appraised value under $500. And we can look at things like 4-help.com and 67. You got a biz here, Drew?
Yeah, twocharacter.biz. That's
it's a two-character.
That's liquid.
That could be undervalued. You're
That's
asking more than
400
410 for that one?
Yeah, that's
I bought 70.biz at auction for $700.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was an auction. And there were 100 other bidders, so.
This all high IP. That's a bad appraisal. That's actually a really good name.
Actually, I just thought
a lot of money.
Belize spearfishing at $5. That's well undervalued.
Yeah.
And a domainer.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna go back over here.
The whole thing.
Here, so one of the really interesting things is this character count area. So I'm gonna scroll way down to the bottom here, Drew. Did you know that you had a 34 character domain name?
No, I definitely did not know that.
I have one longer than that for sure.
Check it out, baby. XXXXXXXXXXXXX.com.
Hey, that's on NameJet now, isn't it?
I don't know. It might be.
I thought it would be wee.
All right.
There's a NameJet with, I don't even count them, but
I want to see
damn
what's 31 characters.
When you measure a domain in inches, it's not good.
Masters in International
Relations.com.
.net.
$50
Yeah, what do you think about that one, Drew?
I think it's got like a $50 CPC. It's a degree program, a Master's in International Relations.
Yeah. Do you find that you get any type-in traffic in .net?
Nah, there's no typing on traffic on that, but if you're an SEO, it's got value.
All right.
The problem is you don't know the thought process behind the names Drew bought.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
But I know, but if we could get that, even on the next list, then we'd have a better understanding of the why.
Disability insurance quote online.com. So here's a 4-word. You like that one, Drew?
It's not going to set any records, but it certainly has some value.
Yeah, and it's not one of your worst names, and you're probably going to renew it?
Oh, yeah, I'll renew that.
All right, Drew.
And a lot of people got these in 2008, 9, 10. They paid for themselves 50 times over when click traffic was good, and they just hold them, just say thank you.
All right. Drew, you're being a hell of a sport, buddy.
Oh, hey, man, I was expecting much worse. I thought you were going to really dig in there and find something.
Well, I really like that XXXXXXX 32 times. All right, here's the last.
34 times.
The last portfolio is the last 10 domain names that Drew has purchased. So we've seen the best, which are, as we all progress in domain investors, we buy better domains, hopefully. We've seen the worst, which is stuff that Drew has probably owned for many years and renewed, and, he's probably going to drop. It's on that list. But we also want to know what's the latest 10 that he's bought. And the list starts with airlift.com, and it ends with yourcraft.com. Adam, what did you think?
So you should just clarify that this is the last 10 that we bought prior to the end of the year.
Thank you for that. Yep, I specified as of December 31st, the last 10 going backwards because I didn't want these guys to fudge with numbers and pick some better domains. So, Adam, let's go over to you. What do you think of the last 10 that Drew has bought, and which ones do you like?
So again, you have to try to think of what Drew would be thinking when he bought these and how he deals with them, and that he usually flips them. So Airlift is interesting. Criminology is obviously great. I love that name. It's a whole education area. It's a whole science. Lose Control, not that crazy about it, but still not bad. MDI, obviously a good name. Medevac, that's a trademark, so he'll have to watch that a little bit. It's trademarked towards insurance products, so as long as he stays away from that, he's good. And it's a live trademark for Medevac 2000, whatever that is. MJ1, not a fan, but I don't like mixing letters and numbers, unless it's Michael Jordan and he's number 1. Even then, I wouldn't bother with it. My Craft, interesting. Again, not my cup of tea. Pennies. Again, pennies are a thing that are fading fast. We've discontinued them here. I can't imagine. We get them now. We just throw them away. So I can't imagine pennies are going to be long in the United States. But I mean, still, it's probably a good investment for something. Pinhole. I mean, maybe those are the bathroom cameras that he's been playing with. I don't know. And Your Craft. Again, he's stuck with Your Craft and My Craft. So he's clearly either in the arts and crafts or some other sort of craft area. So, I mean, I really like Criminology. To me, that's clearly the best of the bunch. And Lose Control could be anything. I mean, it's very brandable. So I kind of like that one as a brandable. I think. Yeah.
What would you put the retail price of Criminology at if you owned it?
Well, I think that where it's at right now with Esteban, I think it's at what, 15 million? Is that right?
Criminology's at 156,000 retail value estimated.
Yeah, I would say that is very low. I would definitely place it much higher because, I mean, people go to school and they take criminology. It's ever since CSI came out, it's been one of the biggest things that people are interested in because people love to read about it. They like to read about serial killers. They like to get educated. I think it's at least a $500K to $1 million name, and I think he did a great job with whatever he picked it up at.
All right. Hey, Shane, let's go over to you. What do you think about the last 10 purchases that Drew has made?
Well, I'm assuming it's really like the last 10. It's not his last 10 best out of the last 50. He just probably pulled out the list. And I saw some themes there. Airlift, I really like, because if anybody's ever had a friend or themselves airlifted out of a foreign country, 30, 40, 50 grand a pop. And it happens a lot more often, especially if you're in Mexico coming to the United States. I can't tell you, I probably had 3 friends shipped in an airlift or a medevac. And that's when I think of medevac. I think of the helicopter, the medical helicopter. So I didn't even think about the other trademark. And of course, I didn't look it up because I'm too lazy. But I think those are fantastic names. Those are easy to sell. Criminology is a good one. Those are the kind of names that are good for me. When I think of businesses buying them, and criminology, to me, that's not the first thing that comes to me, but I realize that there's value in things that I don't understand or don't know. That's the hardest part of our industry, is looking at something and it doesn't mean anything to me, or I don't like it, but that doesn't mean it isn't super value. And that brings me to Adam's statement on the 3character.com. There is cash money in 3character and flipping them. If you're a flipper from small end to big end, there's a lot of money. Even crazy combinations of letter, number, letter, and all different things. They bottom out at $250 now. Even Z1J is $250, and if you can buy them right, you can make $100. So anybody in this industry can get in on those low end. Those are affordable.
Oh, Shane, are you still there? Uh-oh. Shane's fiber optic has frozen. I do like airlift as well. I will say that I live on Bainbridge Island outside of Seattle, and I pay for airlift insurance. I can't remember the name of the company, but I think it's like $300 a year for my family that we pay for it because it's faster than driving around or waiting for a ferry boat to get us to Seattle when we want to get to Seattle for the best hospital. So Shane's frozen. We'll wait for him to come back. Drew, what are your thoughts on what Adam and Shane have said about the last 10 you purchased as of December 31st?
Yeah, more or less in line. I mean, airlift.com was, I bought that because we were at our beach house and my daughter actually choked and I had to do the Heimlich maneuver and, you know, I realized in that moment, wow, I mean, I need to get a helicopter here now. And so I was actually researching, you know, luckily it all worked out fine. But I was researching about, okay, the next time when the Heimlich doesn't work and something else happens and I need to find a helicopter, I was searching for airlift companies, medevac companies.
How about now?
You're good, Shane.
Libby.
You're good, Shane.
And
It's not your turn now.
Okay.
You love
See me now?
So, Drew, you're saying you're searching for airlift options down in Panama at your beach house.
Yeah, so anyway, so then I came across airlift.com and I ended up buying it from.
So who owned
from
it? Was it another investor that owned it, or?
No, it was a medical equipment company that owned it.
And they weren't using it.
Nope.
What'd you
So
pay
I bought
for it?
that, and then I reached out to a domain investor who owned medevac.com, but he wanted more money than I wanted to pay, and then I realized medevac.net was actually available. It had dropped, and I hand-registered medevac.net. But I wasn't aware of the trademark, Adam. And then my craft and your craft, so criminology, I mean, that's clearly probably, criminology or MDI.com are the two most valuable on here. Criminology is probably the best buy. I bought that for like 10 grand. So that was a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
And then MDI, clear, just three amazing letters. It's MD for medical, and then it ends in I, which is the best letter you can end in for any acronym.
What did you pick up MDI for?
I don't remember. Probably 25, 30, something like that. Maybe 35. I don't know.
Yeah. And what about airlift? I love airlift.
I think we paid 10 for airlift.
Wow, that was a good buy.
Yeah, and then my craft and your craft. I actually love those names because first off, I worked with a client to buy craft.com, which we ended up not being able to do, and I know what the price is, and it's a 7-figure name. And so, that makes your craft and my craft, which are probably the two next best options, valuable in and of itself. But the idea of craft has been expanded into job and work, and whatever it is that you do in your life is your craft. And that's a big theme. That's sort of a big underlying it's a thing right now across technology and across all of these podcasts.
Right, like programming is my craft. It's my what I want to be an expert at.
Enhancing your craft, perfecting your craft, being the best at your craft, doing your best to perfect your craft.
Yep.
And so the idea of my craft and your craft, I like it. I think that those are high potential names. So we picked them up pretty cheap, and I think that they have good.
Hey, Drew, why pennies.com? Adam made the point that it's not even worthwhile anymore. Is it like the CD or the tape recorder? Like, they're just going away. Why buy it?
So, and I'm with him. I agree in a sense. But my thought process on pennies.com was two things. Number one, the name has good traffic, and it earns decent PPC.
Huh.
But secondly, I had this idea about a year ago for like an online savings bank for kids, like where, instead of when I was a kid, my grandmother used to give me savings bonds. And, that idea, I don't think savings bonds pay anything anymore. Probably negative returns on a savings bond now. So, I just thought it was kind of I always had this idea of like a cool concept for to send gifts where people can contribute into a savings, and I don't know, growing up, we had penny banks. It was like a piggy bank.
Penny stocks would work real well too.
Oh, penny
stocks.
stocks.
Or penny stocks.
Yeah.
That's true. That's it. I didn't even think about that, but that's a great brand.
That's a good one.
Penny stocks.
Yeah. All right.
I actually didn't think about that.
Okay, guys, we are going to move on to the marketplace list. This name is sponsored by NameJet. We'll be reviewing 16 domain names heading to auction soon. First off, I should ask if any of the Sherpas own any of the domain names listed below. What do you guys think? Anything?
Nope.
Okay. The links below go directly to NameJet. They're not commissionable links. They just want to see where traffic is coming from. We're going to start with Drew, go to Shane, and then go to Adam. Drew, let's start with you. The list starts with atlantamortgage.com, and it ends with wqd.com. What do you like on the NameJet list, and why?
So, yeah, a few great names on here. I mean, buying.com is obviously a great name.
Why is that obviously a great name?
Well, it's buying. I mean, our whole culture is
but it's not buy, and it's not shopping.com.
Well, no, that's true. But buying.com, it's a great name. It's a good brand for shopping. It could be any type of marketplace.
Okay.
I like hydrospa.com a lot. We own hydrotherapy.com. And hydrospa is a solid name. That's a great name. I like lumbersupply.com. It's a really good brand in a really good industry. I like qlo.com just because it's a decent 3-letter. I don't love the Q, but I like it at the front, and then somehow that name just looks good. And I think that's
it.
Sylvester.com.
What do you think buying.com is going to sell for at NameJet? So this is wholesale market, wholesale pricing. What do you think it will sell for?
Really hard to say.
Yeah.
I honestly...
over 10K or under 10K?
Oh, no, I think it'll go over 10K.
I think it's already at... I think it was 10K at max before it even started.
Over 20K or under 20K?
I know, over 20K.
Okay.
I think it'll do mid to high 5 figures.
Okay. What about Hydrospa?
Hydrospa.com, what do I think he's going to go for?
Yeah, what do you think it'll sell for?
I think it's going to go high, but I think that's a sleeper name. I think that's
a good one.
A name that end user is going to pay you $25,000 for.
Okay. All right, Shane, let's go over to you. What stands out on the NameJet list to you and why?
Well, buying's the most obvious one, but it mostly stood out for me because sometimes I'll go and see what the pre-bidding before it gets out there, it caps at $10,000, and VVV was up there with buying. Those are the two top names that were capped at 10, and then so there's a lot of interest in there on that.
Let me just interrupt for 1 second. So NameJet actually I was just told this yesterday. They just changed the policy where they've now raised that cap, I think, to $20,000, but I'm not. Don't hold me to that. But they've raised that cap now.
Okay, good to know. I didn't even know that was the case.
Yep. So that's again. I liked Hydrospa a lot. I think of the places in the mall where they lay you in there and they have that water go over you and keep you dry. That's a huge business. I don't know if those places are still there, but they were when I was there a couple of years ago in the mall. Huh. I looked up some of the past one on permits.org. People looking for permits, I think, is a big business, but to fill or build that out would be just crazy. But in permit.org was like $2,600 back in 2009, so there's some value there. That'll go for a couple $1,000 even at .org in today's market. Sperms obviously it's a weird name and it's plural, but there's market. It's a memorable name, and it's a sperm bank could certainly want to purchase that. So I think it's a good marketing name.
What do you think it'll sell for?
I think it'll sell for $3,500. I think you'd be surprised. I think it goes for $3,000 or so, something like that.
Shane, just to clarify, because I'm unclear on this, are you saying you like sperms?
I'm saying I have them. I have
more
them
than
and they
one.
work. So
all right, one more domain that you like on the list, Shane, and why?
What's my favorite name?
No, what's one more that you like on the list?
Oh, one more that I like. I think stereotype.com is a big buzzword. I think a lot of, that's again, we could talk forever about that, but Stereotype, I don't think it has value, but I think it has huge meaning. And I think hopefully that'll go to the right hands, and it's a good name. But the Atlanta Mortgage and Toronto Attorney, I think attorney spelled wrong, but I'm not sure. But those sell. Those absolutely sell.
Okay, I think it's right.
Okay,
Adam, let's go over to you. What do you like on the list and why, and what differs from the other two Sherpas?
So I agree with both of the other gentlemen. I agree with Shane. I like Atlanta Mortgage. Toronto Attorney, I'm in the bidding for. I like it. It's a great name. I knew Drew was going to like the 3 letters. They are good names. They're not bad. I did like also Hydro Spa. I think it's a good name. Not so big on stereotype. I just don't think it's that. I mean, it's listed 112,000. I don't put it there. Sylvester, it's according to Sylvester the cat. It's spelt wrong. It should be SYL. So I'm not very interested in that one. Retros could be interesting. It could be retros for anything, whether it be clothes or homes or whatever you want. But I think I like Hydro Spa. If I'm going to skip buying, I like Hydro Spa and Toronto Attorney the best.
Yeah, and what do you think hydrospa.com will sell at NameJet?
Well, I mean, now that we've talked about it, what did Drew put it at, roughly? Drew, what did you say it was going to sell for?
I'm not sure I give it up. I think it'll do $2-3 grand on NameJet, and I think an end user would pay 25 or maybe even more.
Yeah, I agree with Drew. I think it's a great product. People are putting spas everywhere. It's a great buzzword. I just checked. It's got like 25 million listings. It's a good name. Now it'll probably sell because we talked about it probably for 4+, but it's a great name. It's the best product name in a while that people want, and if they're buying one, they have money to spend on it. So companies make a lot of money in these things.
Hey,
I think that was good.
So I selected 4 names here on purpose that I think used to be really popular, and I wanted to see what you 3 would say about them. AtlantaMortgage.com, DelReyRealEstate.com, SeattleRestaurant.com, and TorontoAttorney.com. They're all basically 2-word domain names, although Delray is, I understand, 2 words, but it's the city name, and then real estate is considered 1 phrase. Now, only one of you mentioned that you liked a couple of these domain names. Adam, you mentioned that because I believe you had some success in building them out and reselling them to people.
Yeah, I mean, and I did highlight Delray Real Estate, but I didn't bold it, which means I liked it, just not enough to put it in my top.
Now, why wouldn't that one be the top, considering that Realtor is out and Land is out, and it seems like there's a plethora, and this one would be better.
Out of respect to the traffic show and the fact we're not going to Delray for a while, I want to put it in there. I think all those are good names, and they're fairly easy to sell. I mean, the hardest one is going to be Seattle Restaurant, but Atlanta Mortgage is an easy sell, Delray Real Estate is an easy sell, and Toronto Attorney is an easy sell. So those 3 are much. Restaurant names they're not very educated on the internet why they need that name.
Right. Okay. So what would you put Atlanta Mortgage, Delray Real Estate, and Toronto Attorney pricing at to end users that might want to buy it?
So I could pretty much sell Atlanta Mortgage now for $5 grand. I could sell Delray Real Estate probably for 8 to 12, and I know I could sell Toronto Attorney probably for like 15. But that's because I'm in Toronto and I know all the attorneys. But I mean, those are good names. Those are names I sell every week.
Yeah. All right.
I sold a lot of home loan names, a lot of Geo home loan, and home loans, and they all went for $5 grand. That's exactly. But
then again, that's not to say that Drew's QLO and WQD, we could sell those for 15+ as well. So there's a lot of money and liquid cash in these domain names.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying now, Shane, about Toronto Attorney. It actually came back with an estimate value of $40. I'm not sure if it parsed it correctly or if it actually, I think it's spelled correctly. Toronto.
Isn't there a U? I mean, I don't know.
Attorney, ATTORNEY. I think it's right, but it might have Esteban sometimes parses words incorrectly.
It's definitely right. We have a U in color and flavor, but not an attorney.
Okay, so double check that. Double check that if you're going to bid on it.
No, don't bid on it. Leave it for me.
Don't bid on it. It's a terrible name. All right, there you go. There's the NameJet list going to auction soon. They are auctioned from the day this show comes out until I think 2 weeks later. So if you like any of the domains, get in your minimum bid ASAP because some of them are going to auction soon. All right, Sherpas, we're entering the final round. We are over, so I'm just going to ask a couple of user questions. Nick has a pricing question. He said, quote, I had this happen a couple of times. I owned a not-so-great domain name for a few years, pretty much a brandable name. Let's use a domain name I don't own as an example of quality, bluevanilla.com. A few years later, I get a $1,000 offer for the domain name. I see another company has been using the brand for 1 year and is looking like a pretty good fashion site. So I would counter with a very high counter offer. My question is, for the sample of domain quality that he's given, bluevanilla.com, what's the absolute lowest price the Sherpas would allow the buyer to negotiate them down to? Got it?
So is it bluevanilla.com or was there another word?
No, that was it. Bluevanilla.com. As a brandable, it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, yeah. So who wants to start? Adam?
No, I'll let Drew take this.
Okay.
So, I mean, this sort of combo of color and then a noun, particularly color and then an animal, has been a really popular combo for brands for quite a long time. It might be yellowelephant.com or bluecamel.com. Blue Vanilla doesn't strike me as a particular interesting one, but if we're just using that as an overall example, yeah. I mean, look, it's hard to say. The name has zero value until somebody wants it. Look, if I really felt the guy wasn't going to pay more, I'd probably let it go for, $1,500, $2,500.
No.
But I don't know. I'd be looking for probably 15, 10, 15, and then, but yeah, I don't know.
But I'm sure Nick is afraid that I'm sure Nick is afraid that if he asks for 15 on this hand registration, that he's going to scare them away because they won't even think to counter offer.
Okay.
I mean, look, under $1,000, it's like, is it really worth, going through the hassle?
Of course it is. You pay
Maybe
$10
not you,
for it,
but for somebody else starting out in the industry, it might be.
Come on, $10.
All right, Adam, let's go over to you.
Me?
Yeah.
All right, so I always say you can tell a lot by the opening offer. The opening offer tells you whether they seriously want the name or they're just trying to get it off you and think they shouldn't pay more than the reg fee. $1,000 is a serious offer to open up on a brandable domain name that has no value on anything. So I would probably sign this.
That's opening offer, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I would sign this back, thinking about it, and I would put it back. So I wouldn't close the door. I would say something like, we're currently fielding offers. We're looking for $6,500. Your offer is appreciated. It's a serious offer, and we appreciate it, but we're looking for closer to $6,500 or best offer. So at least they'll come back with their second offer, and then I'll take it and get rid of it.
Yeah. All right, good input.
Shane. $1,000 is a very serious opening offer on a shit name.
Shane, how would you respond?
In mine, the answer to two questions. Mine, I really don't sell under $2,500. I don't really care what the name is. If it's a brand now, it can be a brand later. If it's something that nobody else is really going to use, and this is my only shot, then that's a different story. But a name like Yellow Tiger, like I bought Blue Dahlia. Blue Dahlia doesn't mean anything. I sell Blue Dahlia, but Blue Dahlia is a nice name. It can be anything, and so it doesn't matter what I pay for it. I keep it at $2,500 unless I need money that day or I bought something I shouldn't have, and I bought a new bike for $2,500 and he gives it, hey, I'll take it. But in general, that's where I stand. And then I agree with Adam. I say, hey, thanks for the offer. Here's what I'm looking for, and then work it from there. And you always run the risk of losing a potential sale. That's how our business is. Mm-hmm. But you negotiation.
Don't cut it off. Make sure you say or best offer so they'll come back. Otherwise, they're going to think it's firm and you may have lost the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. You want to keep it open. You want to know, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and then that's where the art of the negotiation is. That's what you do. But for me, under $2,500, it does at this point. It doesn't make a difference in my overall sales, and I'll try and go for that. And I find that most of the time they do come back. $2,500 is a nice sweet spot. That's where people feel comfortable in the non-domainer world. Paying.
The other thing you can do is say, okay, I appreciate your offer. It's somewhat a serious opening offer. Do me a favor, give me a call, and then you can really feel them out better when you can hear their voice. And depending on how fast they call you back is also an indicator as well. If you send an email and your phone's ringing within 3 seconds, you know they really want it.
And if they've already got the company name that, you're kind of in a better position. They can go to something else, but you've got the best, and you have them. If it's called whatever Vanilla,
Vanilla,
you're the best name for them, and you know that.
All right, guys, do we got time for one more question?
Sure.
All right, I know we're over time, so I wanted to respect your boundaries on the timeline. Jay has a valuation question. Drew Rosener, this is for you. You're brokering bigdata.com. You've asked $6 million for it. Estabot has an appraisal value of $10,000. What makes this a $6 million domain name when data.com was sold for less than $3 million?
Is this a real question for a real domain he's selling?
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's a bit complex. It's not as simple as that. First off, I think data.com went cheap. Second of all, bigdata.com is a two-part thing. It includes 2 trademarks for the actual term big data. Okay, those are enforced and enforceable trademarks. They have been enforced on multiple very large corporations, which all of you have heard of. And force those companies to stop using the term big data, meaning they can't advertise for that term, they can't use it in their products, their marketing, and that's powerful. Okay, that's big money. Okay, big data is big money.
Yeah, it is.
Now, look, I think $6 million is ambitious, but I'm an ambitious guy. I'm out there, trying to get the most money we can. Do I think it's going to sell for $6 million? Probably not, but I think it's going to hit 7 figures for sure. We're already in talks with Salesforce, Oracle, IBM, SES, and EMC, and they're all interested. So, so
that's why even though Estabot doesn't value it, even though Estabot doesn't value it based on search volume or CPC or some of the other key factors that it uses to value it, it is a term that's out there. It's enforceable. It's something that all these large corporations.
Out there. It was the most important term in technology in 2014. It's going to be even more important in 2015. It's going to be even more important in 2016. Everything is about data. Yeah. Everything. So big data is big business. It commands a big price.
All right. 30 seconds apiece to promote anything you want. What's going on in your lives? What's going on in your business? Any domains you want to move? Let's start with you, Adam.
I was thinking about it. I don't think there is anything that I need to promote. There's nothing I can think of. There's so much going on, it's hard to narrow it down to one thing, so I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, it's always good to have you on the show, Adam. Drew, let's go to you. Anything you want to promote?
It's good to what? Have me on the show? Thanks.
It's always good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Michael.
Drew?
Michael, we broke up in that.
Oh, sorry.
I think we're back. Yeah.
I just want to say I'm going to announce that we sold 50.com this morning.
Congrats.
Yep. Wow. And unfortunately, it is under an NDA, but you can speculate on the price. We were asking $3.5 million a couple of weeks ago. It was a very good sale. And
can you say who the buyer is?
Nope.
All right.
I can say it's a buyer in China.
Okay.
Can you say you can't even say 7 figures?
It was in the 7 figures.
Nice job, Shane.
TJ is going to be happy with 25.com.
Yeah, I talked to TJ about it this morning, as a matter of fact. I just want to also say, so I think that is now 4 for 4 of the big names that I've announced we were brokering on the show, except for Big Data now. Now Big Data is...
All right. We'll hope the streak continues. The good luck continues.
Mike needs an affiliate commission.
Man. All right, Shane, anything you want to talk about, promote, mention?
Yeah, I just recently bought 50.com, and
you don't look Chinese.
I can't talk any more about it, but
I think it was 50.horse.
Same old thing. I'm hunting for the 2. I talk to TJ every day. I just offered him 2,000 last week, and he's just not taking it for 25. But I keep working him up. Maybe after he sees this show, he'll come to realization. DomainShane.com. Aaron and I are writing there every day. We started a newsletter just to try and get that out. A lot of people don't like our feed on the email. It doesn't read very well, so we're putting it out on email every day so that people can get it the night before. Just a little something we're trying. So, blogging, having a good time. I love emails. This show's been fantastic for me personally, so I thank you, Mike. They said really kind words on the email, so
People love you, Shane. They love all you guys, but Shane being the newest, they're like, more Shane. I think they were worried that you weren't going to come back.
Well, they're really going to feel for me once they see my portfolio. So.
All right, speaking of which, the next 2 Domain Sherpa review shows, we're going to continue the Eat Our Own Dog Food, where we're going to review the Sherpa's domain name portfolios, the good, the bad, the ugly. You'll get to see the best domain names each Sherpa has, the worst, and the most recently purchased. Do 2 things for me right now. Number 1, post a comment below. Let me know if you want to see Shane's portfolio next or Adam's portfolio next. You'll get to decide. You got to mention one of those 2 portfolios in a comment.
Shane.
Number 2, and I already have the portfolios. It's not like they're going out and getting other domain names or modifying it based on how this show has gone. Number 2, sign up for the Domain Sherpa newsletter, and we'll make sure you're notified on when the next show airs. If you receive benefit out of today's show, also post a comment and say thanks to the Sherpas for their comments. Thanks to Andrew Rosener for sharing his portfolio and letting us learn from his successes and mistakes, whatever the case may be. Thanks to NameJet for submitting their portfolio and sponsoring the Domain Sherpa show. And thanks again to all of our 3 Domain Sherpas for sharing their experience and insights. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.